Well, we have a response in the human trafficking case with Neil Gaiman versus Scarlett Pavlovich. This has been quite the saga as it's unfolded. The real change in the media's tune came at the beginning of this year when Scarlett actually did an interview for New York Magazine detailing the horrific abuse that Neil Gaiman inflicted upon her. It was harrowing stuff. We don't need to go into too many of the specifics. We'll do a little bit of talk about the tub cuddling because that's always a funny one. But this is a very serious thing. Now, it's not just her. There are 11 different women who have made accusations. I think the worst one, frankly, is the woman who stayed in his estate and said that he was forcing her to perform sex acts in exchange for rent because she couldn't pay rent. Otherwise, he threatened to kick her and her daughters out, and she was paid hush money for that. Scarlett here was also paid hush money, and another woman we learned was also paid hush money. So there's a lot going on here with this Neil Gaiman situation. It's very different than the Daniel Green deal, where it was very clearly a mentally ill woman who just was out for some YouTube clout. This one seems to be pretty real. Now, Neil Gaiman has lost a lot of his publishing contracts and the like over the last few months. But he is saying in court it was just all consensual. So let's see what he's trying to do right here. I've been in court battles myself for defamation and the like. I've sued the World Science Fiction Convention because they called me a racist bully. So I know exactly how defendants act in this case, and I will go over it from a legal perspective. And what you can expect to find here is the best place to find this kind of coverage on the channel here, as we talk about all things in the publishing industry. Neil Gaiman's a big blockbuster that was propped up by the mainstream establishment for years, all because of his woke activism, because of his feminism and the like. Sure enough, he's a creep behind the scenes, and we knew this going forward when a lot of people didn't even try to pretend to cover it months ago. I know Daniel Green jumped on the bandwagon himself for his fantasy news over the last couple of months, but I've been calling this out far before anybody else was, and that's why we're the most trusted name in science fiction and fantasy news. Please hit the like and subscribe button, my friends. I'm also a science fiction author. If you like some fun, non-degenerate stuff, this is a great place to be. I write a lot of books, and this is a good place to start. It's called The Stars Entwined. It's the Aritian War Book 1. It's a trilogy about a space war going on between Earth and the Aritian people. Lieutenant Sean Barrows is a military man who embeds himself on an alien starship to bring back information to Earth, crucial to the war efforts. It's super epic, builds up huge over 3 books. Grab it today. It's in the description below. There's a 3-book trilogy. Like I said, get it on ebook, print, or Audible. If you've got Audible credits this month, is a great place to start too. And it's going to be a wonderful science fiction read for you. Thank you so much for supporting us and making this a success. Really appreciate you guys for being here. So, Sandman creator Neil Gaiman has filed requesting a dismissal for the human trafficking case by Scarlett Pavlovich, saying the claims are a sham. He's been in hot water, if you don't know, in recent months after the mainstream media began to cover multiple women alleging sexual misconduct and abuse by the American Gods author spanning decades of his stardom. The most poignant case seems to come from Scarlett Pavlovich, who worked as a nanny for Neil Gaiman's ex-wife, Amanda Palmer, who infamously lured into Neil Gaiman's home alone, where he fed her wine and then asked her to get naked in a bathtub, which he claims they only cuddled. And he talks about that situation here. Different details than the way Scarlett presented it, for sure. And we'll get into that in just a moment. So there's a lawsuit going on for human trafficking against both him and Amanda Palmer. And so this is the filing that came out. The United States District Court for the Western District of Wisconsin came out with this filing today. And it's pretty long. It's 40 pages long, and it details all of the information on here, where he actually says that this is basically BS and it was all consensual. So this is what he says right here. He says that this is a plan of hers to maximize averse publicity against Gaiman. It's a plot. It's a conspiracy by Pavlovich to just get revenge on him because he scorned her, is what he makes it sound like. But again, there's too many different instances that are major problems here with the way that Neil Gaiman acts, that it does seem like a strange grooming operation where Amanda Palmer brought him these girls, and it was really crazy. Now, this is pretty normal. So when you get in a lawsuit like this and something comes out, the first thing that defense does is sends out a motion to the judge saying that they would like to dismiss everything. In my lawsuit against the World Science Fiction Convention, where they libeled me a racist bully, and I eventually won, and I sued them, and they were forced to apologize for me because I'm legally not racist now. How exciting. They did this too. and they tried to get the judge to dismiss everything. I filed 6 different counts, and they dismissed 5 of them, but not one of them. And so what happened when this happened was the leftists in the industry actually declared victory. They said that, oh gosh, JDA just filed this frivolous lawsuit. He's got everything thrown out. But the thing is, the one libel case was pretty big, so it was not a win. They ended up spending over $130,000 trying to fight me tooth and nail, nearly bankrupting themselves, and then ended up having to give me a payout on top of it. And despite these leftists declaring victory, it didn't matter at that point. So we don't know what's going to happen or what the judge is going to say at this point. But Neil Gaiman brought up 2 points legally on this. One, that he's got records saying that Scarlett Pavlovich said that it was consensual in text. And so he does have that. I'll show that in a little bit. But the main thing here, which is probably bigger than that, because he presented evidence of that, and that evidence will weigh against her evidence when she talks about it. And that's not going to be something that I think will trigger a throwing out, because she'll present evidence to the contrary. That's what a trial's for, right? Now, what they might have her on is a technical element here, which he also said they need to throw it out, is that these elements all took place in New Zealand. And so since it was in New Zealand outside of the United States, this is not a United States jurisdiction, and that the Wisconsin court cannot try it because of that. That might be where he's actually got something here. We'll find out what the judge thinks of that later. I don't know the law in terms of that regard, but for the jurisdictional stuff is reasons that courts do throw things out for some time. So we'll see what happens on that. It's possible that he texted her while he was in Wisconsin or something like that, and that might be a technical reason it can continue. These things get very, very hairy into the details like this stuff. But those are the 2 counts and the reasons that he's saying that this needs to be thrown out. Like I said, I don't think this evidence presenting is something that really matters on that level, because, again, she's going to present counter evidence, etc. And here she's got a few texts which show her being lovey-dovey towards Neil Gaiman and stuff. Let me know if you want to run a bath. This is funny. She says, I'm consumed by thoughts of you, things you will do to me. I'm so hungry. What a terrible creature you've turned me into. I hope tomorrow or some other time soon with a heart. And so you could see that this could be an element of Stockholm syndrome here. Really what's going on. Now, he talks about the bathtub incident in this case deal here, which this is his account of the bathtub incident. After eating, Gaiman invited plaintiff to take a bath with him. He was clear that the invitation was to take a bath with him, and it was entirely open for plaintiff to decline the invitation. She accepted. Gaiman and Pavlovich had a lengthy conversation about consent. So, so you get a girl into a bathtub naked and you start having a conversation about consent. These people are weird, if this is true. During which Pavlovich disclosed that she preferred older partners and was open to a sexual relationship with Gaiman. Gaiman and plaintiff removed their clothes before getting into the bath. Gaiman and plaintiff cuddled and made out in the bath before engaging in further sexual activity, though not sexual intercourse of any kind. Oh, gosh. Creepy stuff. And remember, Neil Gaiman's like 62 and she's like 21 at this point. It's like his granddaughter's age. Crazy stuff right here. But that's it. And so that's his account of things. She said that he had her go into the bath and she wasn't expecting him to come in because he said he had to go do work. And she actually fed him wine ahead of time, which, again, if there's consent stuff here, I know how that works. If there's alcohol involved and Neil Gaiman feeding her wine and him not drinking, would be a weird situation there where it, muddies the waters of the tub quite a bit in that situation. So different situation on that level. Now, this is where it gets kind of weird on the text things, which she's talked about before too, and this is Neil Gaiman. Honestly, when Amanda told me you were telling people I'd raped you and were planning to Me Too me, I wanted to kill myself. But I'm getting through it a day at a time. It's been 2 weeks now, and I'm still here. Fragile, but not great. So you see at this point, Neil Gaiman's coercing this girl to say it was consensual and stuff like that by actually saying that he will off himself in Minecraft if things go bad and he gets Me Too'd and the like. So I don't know that, again, this is evidence that they're going to go back and forth on. And she says, oh my God, Neil, I never said that. I've been deeply upset. It's triggered things from my past. I'm horrified by your message. Me too. What? This is the first I've heard of this. Wow, I need to digest your message. And, this is his evidence saying that obviously it was not the case. Now, she did file a police report, and she did say this to Amanda Palmer ahead of time, so she'd been back and forth on her feelings on this and what happened, and obviously this was a part of it. But as you can see, this was a manipulation tactic that he was doing right here, and it's pretty gross, threatening to off yourself, to try to extract nice comments back from somebody is just this is something that's bizarre and creepy enough by itself, where you don't want to be involved with this kind of thing. This is a male feminist again. And of course, Mr. Me Too, supporting women, believe all women, is now doing this. So again, that's stuff that I think will not actually influence this decision right here of whether it gets thrown out or not. I think it's all going to be on the technicality of whether Wisconsin has jurisdiction or not. We'll cover that here on the channel with what goes on. So interesting stuff and interesting development. What do you think about this case and what's going on with Neil Gaiman? Leave a comment down below. Hit the like and subscribe button. Really appreciate you guys for being here. And please check out my science fiction work. This is going to be good stuff, which you'll love. It's a great read, a wonderful trilogy, and we've got a lot more coming in this universe. I'm so excited for the stuff I'm writing right now. You are going to absolutely have a great summer reading books if you're a fan of mine. Thank you for being here, and this will be in the description below. We'll be back soon.